terrain through here is just a little bit different looking than what we have been driving through. We're kind of going up between the mountain ranges. We're going to come into an area where the Tetons are on the left. We're not going to be in the Grand Tetons, but the Tetons will be on the left and Rocky Mountains on the right. Kind of in that caldera that is Yellowstone National Park. Landers are going to be too far south of that. And so anyway, then we'll go down from Lander into Rawlings, and then when we'll leave Lander on Saturday. We'll drive to Rawlings and stay there. There's Loves there, so we'll stay there overnight, and then we'll drive on down into Vernal and check into the campsite in Vernal on Monday the 2nd. It's hard to believe that Phenomenon is only 10 days away. That's really hard to believe. But we'll be checking in the campsite in Vernal on the 2nd, and then the 3rd, Miss Thing here in the seat next to me will be going for her bath so that I can take her Wednesday to the gal who's going to board her while I'm there for the conference. That way she's not spending a lot of time alone during the day, and I'm not worried about getting back to the campground and spending a lot of gas and all that stuff, worrying about her. So she will be boarded with a gal from rover.com, named Linda, and when you book with Rover, you pay when you make the booking. So everything in Vernal is paid for except the extra days for my campsite, because I'm going to be checking in a day early and staying for a week. So I'll be leaving out of Vernal on Monday the 9th, and then taking my time and driving back to Texas, because I have to visit with my doctor so that she can fill my prescriptions. And I don't know though, as a therapist, I would be a hypocrite now if my clients told me, well, I haven't been taking my medication. I would be a hypocrite because I haven't taken my antidepressant. This will be week number 3, and I've only taken my Adderall on the days that I work, so that I can pay attention with my clients. The rest of the time, I haven't been taking my medication. So for me to get on to my clients right now would be total hypocrisy. It's like, well, you should be taking your medication. Well, I've been off mine long enough now. It starts with a 75 milligram dose, and I take 150 twice a day. So I've been off it long enough now that I don't even feel safe going back on it with what I have. So I'll talk to the doctor and see what she says. Maybe it's a good thing for me to be off of it for a while. But I am not depressed. I am not struggling with the dysthymia, which is my diagnosis. My diagnosis is not major depression; it's dysthymia, because I've been depressed all my life, and so I've been taking the bupropion since 1994. So 30 years, a long time. To stay on the same medication. So maybe I was on it long enough that my brain has been corrected and I'll be okay. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, somebody suggested that maybe it was the Adderall, but that was keeping me from feeling depressed, but I only take it on the days that I work. So on the days of the work that I work, it might make sense that is what's keeping me from feeling depressed, but I didn't take any today, and I didn't take any yesterday, so I won't be taking any tomorrow, and I just am not symptomatic. So I think that's a good thing. I think that being on the road enjoy being out in the open country. It's the best cure for me, anyway. I'm not saying it's everybody's cure, but it certainly is the best cure for me. Because quite frankly, after I was homeless in Benton, Arkansas, I was depressed for the first few days that I was there. Situational depression, but I haven't been depressed since then. I haven't been depressed since I bought the car. Even though I'm not wild about a car payment, I haven't been depressed since I bought the car. And I'm really grateful to my youngest daughter for forcing me to stay on the road. When I was homeless, I asked her to come and get me, and she said, no, they're going to finish your trip. So, kind of glad she did. And, we'll go from there. All of my horoscopes, I don't know, I guess if it happens, I'll have to say that I believe in horoscopes, but all of my horoscopes have been saying that the love of my life, that the one who is going to take care of me for the rest of my life is going to come along, and I'll have no more financial problems and no more worries and all of those things, that it's the universe, paying me back for everything that I've given. And so we'll see. Not really looking for a relationship, but I guess if God drops one down on me and says, okay, here you go, do this now, I guess I can't say no, right? But the next one has some very high standards to meet, and one of them is going to have to be, I hate to say it, but going to have to be financially well off, because I am not supporting another husband. I've already done that 3 times, and I'm not going to do it again. So, anyway, those are Mary's musings while she drives through the countryside of Wyoming. Just enjoying the smell of the fresh air from the rain that's been through, and all of the green, and just the beautiful, beautiful landscape. Well, it looks like over to the left, we either have a mountain with some snow on top of it, or it's got a lot of white rock up there. It's a kind of interesting. Well, there's several of them that have white up there. That must be snow. That must be snow up there, because it has been raining over here. But that looks like it's another, I don't know, 10,000 feet maybe above what I am. Anyway, so that looks pretty snowy on those mountains over there. Almost directly in front of us. Because I'm not so sure that is, that's white rock. Anyway, interesting. Not quite September yet. There's snow in the mountains already, it looks like. Yay! I love Wyoming. That's one of the reasons I do love Wyoming. I know I mentioned before that all the time I was growing up, I always felt like I was supposed to be living here. And in this side of the state. The rest of the states, okay. I mean, the plains are okay. The other side over by Devil's Tower, that was a pretty side of the state also, but this side of the state where Yellowstone is the side that I just always felt like I was supposed to be living over here. Anyway, snow on the mountains in Wyoming, and it's still August. Yay! This is just some really, really pretty mountains to be driving through right here. All of this red soil. It is so pretty. I just just watched a thing on ID the other day about somebody who got murdered, and one of the giveaways that helped him catch the murderer was the red mud that was caked inside the tire well. That they got a video of. It was on See No Evil. That they got a video of, and then they were able to trace him. It happened in Texas. Trace him to Bastrop County, where he got the red mud, and so this is just really, really pretty through here. So, oh, we got a horsey over there walking up the hill, all on its own. Then we're back into cows laying around in the field. Since I'm a Skinwalker Ranch fan, I find myself wondering if any of these people, any of these ranchers around here are finding mysterious deaths with their cattle, like they do in Utah. It's interesting to think about. Yep, folks, that's snow on top of that mountain up there. Now that we're a little closer, that is snow on top of the mountain. Well, if it's not too far away, after we drop the trailer, maybe tomorrow Winky and I will take a drive and see if we can find the snow. She likes snow. When we're in Michigan, she likes to be in the snow. So, anyway. Okay, we got about 7 miles before we come into a town called Lander, which is where my RV park is. And then just a little north to that is a pretty good-sized city called Riverton. And when I was investigating last night to see what it would take to change my residency to Wyoming so that next year I could travel with privilege to practice rather than having to get licensure in all the states that I'm going to travel in. It would take 18 months to establish residency in Wyoming for an LPC to be able to call this the home state. So by the time that 18 months is up, Texas will have decided how much they want to charge, and hopefully the next time it comes up for a vote, it will go through just as quickly as it did this time, and not die in committee like it did last time. It got to the Health and Human Services Committee and then it died there. And all they had to do was just decide how much they were going to charge LPCs from out of state for privilege to practice, and they couldn't decide that in 15 days that it was in committee. So, yeah, I'm a little frustrated with the Texas legislature, or at least with the Health and Human Services Committee anyway. That was a simple thing to decide, and they just let it die. The senator that I asked about it said that they had priorities. And it's like, why isn't mental health care a priority for people who are moving from Texas to other states? Why isn't continuity of care for mental health important enough that you can take one day in the committee and decide how much money you're going to charge people from out of state? How come that's not important? What was more important? Shipping undocumented immigrants to New York? I mean, come on. We're talking about the mental health of the people of the state of Texas. And so the response I got back from the senator, I mean, my language I just used was much tamer than what I used with what I fired back to him. And he said, I can see you're quite impassioned about this topic. He said 2026 is when it will see the legislative floor again. And or 2025 is when it will see the legislative floor again. And then it should be enacted by 2026. And it's like, so you mean if the Health and Human Services Committee doesn't let it die again? And he said, well, I'm not on that committee. There's not a lot I can do about that. So, I don't know. But if they do something with it, then in 2026 when I travel, I'll be able to go places like Florida and Nevada Nevada, and a couple of other states where they want me to take the other counseling tests in order to license in that state. I took the National Counselor's exam, and they want me to take the National Mental Health Counselor's exam. So it's basically the same exam, just probably got 20 more questions. But I took that exam back in 2013, and I am not going to study to take the test again just to get licensure so I can travel to a state for 2 weeks. The states that I did get licensure in, if my trip had gone as planned, I would have spent way more than 2 weeks in each of these states. I'd have been in Michigan for 3 weeks, and I would have been in South Dakota for 2 weeks, Wyoming for 3 weeks, and then Utah. Utah is one of those states that I don't think is part of the compact, but in order to get a license there, that's one of the states that wants me to take the National Mental Health Counselor's licensing exam, and I'm just not going to do it. So whenever I'm in the states that have to have that, if they're not part of the compact, in order to get licensed, if I have to take the other test, then I'll just be vacationing when I'm there. I won't be working. But I am going to keep my Montana, South Dakota, North Dakota, and Wyoming licenses, and my Michigan license. I am going to keep those in the Arizona license because I have a sister who lives there. So I am going to keep that license. So basically I'm going to keep the 7 that I have. That's basically what that boils down to. I'm going to keep the 7 I have. Hopefully, when it's time to travel to Florida, whatever, that Texas will be part of the Interstate Compact, and I can just apply for privilege to practice, not have to actually get licensed there because they want the National Mental Health Counselor's test also. So, not that I don't think I could pass it, but I'd have to go back and study all those theories again, and who said what, and blah, blah, blah. And some of those theories I haven't thought about since I took the test in 2013. So I'd have to go back and refresh on all of that, and I'm just not willing to do that. So I'll stay in the states that I do have licensure in, and I don't know, maybe one of these days when I'm traveling in Montana or something, my sister and brother-in-law will be in Montana, and we'll be able to meet up for a week or two and hang out while we're there, and I can still work, and all of that. Who knows? It could happen. It just wouldn't be like going to see them in Orlando, but still be seeing them. We were supposed to meet up in Ohio this time, but that just didn't work out. So here we are in Lander, and I'm in search of gas, and I will get back to recording in a little bit. Well, that gas stop was $4 a gallon for 85 octane, and I have to have minimum 87, so I had to just put enough gas in to get me off the warning light so that I could drop the trailer and go look for gas cheaper someplace else. So there you go. Bam. That looks like 30. got here, and I don't know why the picture turned pink all of a sudden. We got here, and my power cord isn't long enough, so we had to go find another one. So we're off to find a power cord. We're leaving the trailer and going to find a power cord. Well, we're pink inside because evidently the IR lights got turned on because it's not very bright in here, I guess. So we have to go to Riverton and get a longer power cord because the cord I have is 20 foot and I'm going to need a 30 or a 40 or something like that. So I'm quite sure this is going to be expensive to get a longer power cord. But gotta have it for this campground because I am already unhitched and leveled, and I do not want to hitch back up and re-level just to be able to reach the, well, actually I'd have to back up like 10 feet to get the cord to reach. So it just seems easier to get a longer cord. So we'll do that, and then we'll go from there. So I'm on the Wind River Indian Reservation, which is exactly what the sign said. And they have a casino out here that I think does casino bingo. I will be checking that to see what's up, because the good news is that with me being on mountain time, I start my day earlier and end it earlier than I would if I was in the same time zone with my clients. So if they have Indian bingo, it might be something I can come out and do. So, but anyway, this is the Wind River Indian Reservation, and I don't know, it looks like the ones in South Dakota and the ones in Wyoming, well, except the ones in Wyoming had a lot more mountains and hills in them, rockier stuff. And so anyway, we're on our way to Riverton to get that longer power cord because the campsite I'm in, I'm about 10 feet too short. So anyway, I will check in with you later. Not too far north from the Wind River Indian Reservation is the Shoshone National Forest, which is where I was going to stay, but that's the one with the bear boxes that I did not want to take everything out of the camper to put in the bear box, because it doesn't matter if it has any kind of odor. So any cleaning supplies, toiletries, food stuff, anything like that has to be taken out of the camper and put in a bear box. And since they usually only give one bear box per campsite, and they're thinking that it's people who are camping, not people who live in their RV, they don't really have a bear box big enough. And that was pointed out to me by someone when I was talking to him about that reservation in Shoshone. And it's like, well, if you live full time, you'll never get everything into that bear box. And so it's like, oh, okay. So we changed the reservation, and we came down to the Maverick RV Park in Lander, which looks like a nice little RV park. It rained there, everything's wet today, so you know, the hookups are way at the back end of the pad, and so in order for me to be level, I had to pull up farther in order to level the trailer, and there was just no way that I was going to back out, come back in, back out, come back in until I got it right. So we're just buying a longer cord. That just makes better sense to me. Anyway, so yeah, just saw a red-tailed hawk diving for something on the side of the road there. This is the land of golden eagles and bald eagles and hawks, and I think there's even some falcons here in this part of the country. So I think I have a wildlife guide that I got when I came into Buffalo. Oh, this pickup truck is creating a problem here, staying right next to this camper. Come on, camper, I'll let you over. I'll wait for you. I don't mind being behind you. Got one of my own. So, anyway, I'll have to check the wildlife book and match the picture of what I just saw. So the Wind River Reservation is Arapaho. I just saw a sign back there for the Arapaho Community Center. And we're still in the middle of the Wind River Reservation. So, yeah. Didn't know that I'd be running into the Arapaho up here, but I guess so. Behind us. Turn the air conditioning back on. Okay, we got our cord, and we're headed back to Lander.